Hi everyone, today's video is an elf wreath for Christmas in July. I've got this really cute sign from Craft Outlet, and I'm just going to take the little jute cords off of there and toss that because I don't need them, and then I'm just going to take the little stickers off at the bottom as well. But instead of adding a cable mount like I normally do to the sign, all I'm going to do is just use my staple gun and attach the pipe cleaners. This works just as well, and the sign is thick enough that my staples won't go through the front of the sign. So I do like to do that when I think about it for the thicker signs. My apologies, I should have took the stickers off of here before I started the video, but I wasn't thinking about it. So what I like to do is I actually like to fold my pipe cleaners in half and find the midpoint, and then I give a good couple of staples just to make sure. Now I don't, but you could if you wanted to. If you wanted to feel a little bit more secure, is on top of the staples you could actually apply some hot glue. So here I have my 14-inch wreath frame from the Dollar Tree. They do have them in green, silver, and gold. You can't always find the silver and gold, so I really like to find those. I purchase quite a bit of those when I do find them. And here I'm just showing you crossbars. And in the first two rungs, I'm going to add a pipe cleaner. This is just me making a work wreath. This is way more affordable, in my opinion. On the two outer rings, I'm going to attach 2 pipe cleaners in each section, which is between 2 crossbars. So, you know, to me, I can create a work wreath for $1.50, roughly. Whereas if you go and look at other places that actually have the work wreath attached, you're spending $6 and up. So I have this 10-inch mesh, and it's actually from Hobby Lobby. It's on the thinner side. It's more like a iridescent light blue, but I'm going to just scrunch up the sides. I'm just going to scrunch it all up, gather it, and attach it with a zip tie to one of the crossbars. I do try to make sure that my sides are curled under. This helps with the opening up the poofs and making it look full process. I just trim off my little side, and then I'll trim off the excess of the zip tie. You don't have to do this part. If you want to gather the end and attach it to the very first pipe cleaner, you can, but that's just not how I do it. I like to start off with this way because to me I feel a little bit more secure that it's not going to come loose. So I zero out that zip tie, and I measure out 10 inches to make my 10-inch poofs, and then I just attach it to the next pipe cleaner that's on my wreath frame. Doesn't matter if I start at the bottom, start at the top, it's all the same. It comes out exactly the same. But I always like to start off at the bottom just because it allows, to me it's easier than having to lift up some mesh. I can just go, it's not in the way of anything else. Now you could poof out the little poofs as you go, but I chose not to. I'm just going to do it afterwards. Either way, again, it's just preference. It's all going to come out the same in the end. Y'all, I'm sorry. I've been sick again. excuse me, so I don't really sound the same like I normally do, so I apologize. Ever since COVID, every time I get some respiratory illness, it takes me a lot longer to get rid of them, and I seem to get them a lot easier than before. So after I've filled out the bottom, I just move on up to the first top pipe cleaner and do the same method, 10-inch poofs all around. And just as I did the bottom, attached it with the zip tie, I do the same thing with the top. So once I have all of that attached, I'm going to take my red and white snowball mesh. This is also from Hobby Lobby. This is a Hobby Lobby Christmas mesh that comes out every year. And since I have 18 ties and this whole roll is 360 inches, I'm cutting 20-inch pieces for these. So here I'm just curling up one side a couple of times and turning it around and curling it up another couple of times. And then I'm just going to walk my hands up in the middle. This is a cruffle method or a woodland ruffle. I just like calling it a cruffle method. It's just all the same to me, a little bit easier. But I'm just going to take one of those and put it right on top of each one of the pipe cleaners and add it in. And I'm going to go all the way around and do that. Now I do actually take the rest of that blue and cut those down into 10-inch pieces and add those as well. But you'll see that here in just a little bit. But I'm just showing you again in real time how to create this cute little ruffle and add it to your wreath. So as I said, I took the extra blue mesh and just cut them into 10-inch squares, and it gave me 17 pieces. I was short one, but after everything was all said and done, you couldn't tell. I'm just leaving it as a curl and adding one curl to each of the pipe cleaners, and I just wanted to bring out a little bit more blue. Plus, I don't have any other remnants of mesh just laying around or being thrown away. So I really do like this. I think it's pretty cute. But yeah, I like to try to keep my curls pretty natural. I don't like to go in and make extra tight curls or anything. because it just, to me, it's really nice to have the big full loops rather than the really tight ones. And then I just pinch them in the middle and add it right to each of the pipe cleaners. So once I have all those added in, here I've got my 2 main ribbons, and I think they're so stinking cute. I got the black one to match the trim, the black and white trim on the sign. So here I'm just looking at little frayings and cutting them off. I'm trying not to pull them, but I'm just trying to cut them. When you get the Hobby Lobby mesh is really bad about fraying. Once you get better quality mesh, then it doesn't fray as much. You still typically get fraying, but not as much. So even with Hobby Lobby on sale, typically, let's just say each roll costs like $10, and then you only get the 40% discount if it's on clearance. I mean, not clearance, but just on the every other week sale. You're spending $6 a roll, whereas you could go to a craft outlet or something, and yes, Craft Outlet's one of my favorite stores, online stores, to purchase all my ribbon and stuff from. But they're always running sales, and you can get mesh for $4, sometimes even under $4. Again, I'm just really big on the sale items, but they have a lot of great mesh and stuff. To me, it's definitely worth it than going to Hobby Lobby. But excuse me. Here I'm just taking my ribbon and I'm actually just attaching them to my pipe cleaners, and rather than clipping off the end of the pipe cleaner, I'm actually just rolling them under. So I folded my sets of ribbon in half, and then I just kind of found the middle point to make a V, attached them, and just attaching it all throughout my wreath frame. Here I am attaching my sign, and I'm just finding a good point at the bottom and at the top of the wreath just to attach it. Try not to pull your signs too tight when you're attaching them, because it gives it more of a sunken look versus it just being able to sit and rest on top of the deco mesh. Now I'm just going to take the rest of the ribbon and make I'm going to make 2 bows. And what I do is I start off with an 8-inch tail, and then I make 6-inch loops, a 6-inch loop on both sides, and then end it with another 8-inch tail. And here, y'all, I don't know what was wrong with me, but I'm just couldn't get my ribbon placement. I don't know what I was thinking, but I finally got it. And here I'm just switching to some other ribbon. I thought this black and white was also very complementary to the black and white in the sign, so I added a little bit of that as well, and I think it's a really nice touch. I like this wreath because there are some traditional colors of the red and green in it, but there's also a lot of other non-traditional colors like the light blue and the black. I like to utilize colors like that that'll pop. And if these elf boots are not the cutest, this was like a shiny ribbon and I really liked it. Thank goodness it was not like a satin though. So, and I'm only actually just gonna utilize 4 different ribbons, and my loops are getting about 1/2 inch smaller with each ribbon, but my tails are still roughly 8 inches. And with this last ribbon, I'm making a center loop for the bow. Now, if you know me, I'll do my ribbon tails at 8 inches because then I can go back and cut them. Makes it a lot easier. And here I just grab it, and I don't know what it was with this stinking first bow. I was really struggling. But I end up getting the pipe cleaner on there, and I'm twisting the bow, making sure I'm holding on to it as tight as possible. And then I'm just going to fluff the bow out some and cut the ribbon tails, cutting the 1.5 inch at a slant and doing dovetails for the 2.5 inch ribbon. But you go ahead and trim those up however you want to. It's your choice. So here I am, I'm just going to go ahead and attach that first bow at the top on the right. And I don't show the other bow, but I do attach it at the bottom left. Here's the final reveal, and I hope you enjoyed this video. You guys have a very blessed day.